No Yog, Live Yog. Chapter 11 Pranayam. Pranayam is the most important aspect of Yog sadhana. The gross expressions of energy existing in us is breath, and the subtle expression is mind. Mind elevation is done through the study of pranayam. This energy is called as pran shakti, which is expressed every moment in us. Now, pran has two components. One is man, other one is pavan. One mind, pavan breath. They are closely related to each other and also dependent on each other. Hatha Pradipika has explained this relationship very clearly. Both are unstable by nature but can be controlled through each other. It means if we want to control mind, we have to control breath. Our physical movements are controllable. Breath is semi-controllable, whereas mind is uncontrollable. The journey of yoga from controllable to uncontrollable, thus from body, breath to mind. With the help of asana, we can easily balance the physical level. With the pranayam, we can control this semi-controllable, that is the prana level. And with the help of antaranga yoga or antaranga sadhana, we can control our mind to some extent. Therefore, we can say pran takes us to the threshold of controlling mind. Without practice of pranayam, it is difficult to control the mind directly. The breath has definite speed and rhythm, which is directly related to the thoughts. The thoughts are an outcome of the mind. The speed, which also changes the speed of our breath unknowingly. Any type of excessive thoughts process has direct impact over breath rate. The excessive or unexpressed thoughts are provoked by emotions, which primarily controls the mind and thinking pattern. The under-expression or over-expression of emotions are equally bad and one does not know how to overcome them. This dilemma can be collected by practice of pranayam. Voluntary control over breath is called as pranayam. Prana and ayam. Pran is breath, ayam is prolong, which means pranayam. The gross expression of pran is to be controlled for controlling the subtle expression, that is mind. To do this, we need to understand the natural speed of breath and increase speed of breath with the causes. Without this, practice of pranayam can be merely ritual or exercise. Body, breath and mind are the important component in this study, which is generally crisscross with each other. This has to be handled very delicately with an effective instrument, that is awareness. It is an integral part of the pranayam sadhana, which brings the radical changes in everybody. Awareness is a special character of human being among all the living beings. Human beings know how to use awareness in the life. Awareness cannot be easily defined as it is totally subjective. However, to make it simple, we can say doing the things with complete understanding and knowledge is awareness. Now, concept of pran. Before the practice of pranayam, we need to understand the basic concept of pran. This concept has been dealt in details by Prashna Upanishad. This Upanishad has accepted the supremacy of pran, which controls anything and everything manifested in this world. The energy exists in the universe and the human body. As well, the existence of pran in universe. The human body is explained very nicely through questioning answers. The pran in universe is called as Mahapran, and that in human body there are 5 types of pran, that is Panchapran. Mahapran is a universal work through 5 basic elements, that is Panchamahabhut. And the main pran with its 5 subtypes working in the human body. The relationship between them can be explained with the functional table. Mahapran, its function, main pran, its location and system. First, Mahapran, sun. Function, energy. Main pran is pranavayu. Official location, face. System, respiration or respiratory system. Second one, earth, or you can say Prithvi Mahabhut. Function, excretion. Main pran, apan vayu. Location, anal. System, excretory system. Third one, vayu. Vayu Mahabhut. Function, total universe. Main pran, Vyan. Vyan Vayu. Location, total body. System, circulatory system. Fourth one, Agni Mahabhut. Elevation. Function is elevation. Main pran is Udan. Location is spine, nervous system. Akash Mahabhut. Function, provide space. Main pran is Saman. Location, abdomen. System is digestive system. From the above, we will understand the subtypes of Mahapran in the universe, and that the main pran in the human body are functionally related to each other. All the functional system of human body are related to each other. Subtype of pran, any imbalance in pran leads to the functional imbalance which is called as disease. When we practice pranayam, natural balance between this pran, that is pran vayu, pran udan vyan apan saman, is established, and accordingly physical, mental and emotional balance also get established. Pran is the main creator of all the things manifested in the universe. The supremacy of pran is explained in this Upanishad. It says as under. Pranasya edam vashe sarvam tridivet pratishtitam mateva putrana rakshasva shriश्च prajñाश्च विदेहिन इति. प्राणस्य इदं वशे सर्वं त्रिदिवेत् प्रतिष्ठितं मातेव पुत्रान् रक्षस्व श्रीश्च प्रज्ञाश्च विधेहि न इति. Meaning, it means whatever is manifested in this universe is under the control of pran. O pran, you protect us as a mother protects the child and bestows us with wealth and intellectual. The protection given by mother to her child is cozy, with full of affections. Also, the wealth here means the physical one and not the materialistic one. The only continuous thing we do from birth till death is breathing, which is an outcome of pran. Therefore, it is necessary to respect this energy or this great energy, which gives meaningfulness to our existence. Pran Shakti is a part of universe and human body as well. Therefore, everyone has to coordinate both these things in such a way that the pran within and that in the universe coincide with each other. Process of pranayam. While practicing the pranayam, it should not be taken as a breathing exercise. There is a lot more beyond mere inhalation, exhalation, which anything or any living being does. The major differentiation thing or differentiating thing between breathing and pranayam is awareness. If it is practiced without awareness, normally becomes merely a physical phenomena. Process of pranayam is something beyond the calculated or regulated breathing. The process of pranayam passes through 5 stages, which, if understood properly, give lot of meaningfulness to the same. They can be summarized as under. First, Shuddhikaran, that is cleanliness. It is the requirement for cleaning of respiratory tract, especially nostrils and nasal cavities. In general, Kapalbhati and Neti are to be done before starting the pranayam. Niyam, that is normalization or normalizing the breath of everyone, is not normal all the time. There can be higher rate of respiration for whatever reason, which needs to be brought to the normal. This is done with the help of deep breathing, sectional breathing, etc. Now, sectional breathing regulates any distortion in the breathing. Niyantran, that is control. Control inhalation and control exhalation is the essence of pranayam. While doing the pranayam, we bring the control over the pran through breathing. Through these stages, we can control the respiratory rate through various ways. Next, Santulan, that is balancing. This stage brings balance between the two nostrils primarily. Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi are the two contrasts which are brought to the balanced state. The two hemispheres of brain also get balanced, who have different qualities and faculties in general. Sajagata Janiv or Sajakta Janiv or awareness. This is the most important stage in the entire process. All the earlier stages cannot be experienced in real senses unless they are backed by awareness. This is a string which combines the earlier all phases in such a way that though it is mentioned as a last stage, is present at every stage. Normally the 5 stages or steps in pranayam are misconstructed or misconstrued. Puraka, Kumbhak and Rechak are the 3 steps in which pranayam is done. Purak means controlling inhalation. Kumbhak means well controlled holding of the breath inside after inhalation. And Rechak means control exhalation. In fact, total pranayam is based on these 3 parts. Change in the rate of breathing is called as pranayam, that is Gati Vishchedaha. In order to bring in the change, one should know the normal rate of respiration, which is normally 14 to 20 breaths per minute, which is 14 to 20 breaths per minute. However, the same is more in certain ailments like asthma, hypertension, mental disorders. The concept of Gati Vishcheda needs to be understood properly as it involves increase in speed and complete reduction as well. As per Hatha Pradipika, there are 8 Kumbhakas, that is pranayam, which primarily aim at Gati Vishchedan. The Gati Vishchedan can be done by either increasing the speed of respiration or reducing it to the minimal possible level. The main difference between the increase and decrease of respiratory rate, and that is pranayam, needs to be understood. In pranayam, all this happens with voluntary control of breath, which otherwise may not happen. Pranayam as per scriptures. The concept of pranayam has been dealt in detail by various scriptures. This may not be possible to go into depth of each one, but let us try to take note of some major schools of thought. First one, Hatha Yoga. The main thrust of this school is on the awakening of Kundalini Shakti, which is dormant in us. With the help of Prana Shakti, this can be awakened. In Hatha Yoga, the concept of Nadi has got tremendous importance. Nadi is a path through which the energy or the pran flows throughout the body. The nadis cannot be shown as physical structure, but they can be sensed. Hatha Yoga presumes that there are 72,000 nadis in our body. If we take this in literal sense, it is difficult to believe the same. But if we check anatomically, there are blood veins, arteries and capillaries reaching practically every part of the body. We can take them as nadis, which are flowing pran through the body. Out of these thousands of nadis, there are three most important nadis, that is Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. Pingala is a Surya Nadi or right nostril. Ida is a Chandra Nadi or the left nostril. Pingala is a Surya Nadi or right nostrils, and Ida is Chandra Nadi or left nostril. Whereas Sushumna is the Nadi which is the channel for Kundalini Shakti to pass through. This is hypothetically way through which the pran finds its way upward by intersecting the energy points, that is chakras. Pranayam by application of various bandhas is the specialty of Hatha Yoga. Three types of bandhas are applied while practicing pranayam. Mula bandha is expected to be applied from the start to the end. Jalandhar bandha and Jiva bandha are applied after Purak, whereas Udiyan bandha is applied before exhalation. By applying these bandhas, prana shakti gets blocked within the body till Rechaka is done. This creates the positive impact on chakras and they start getting stimulated. Hatha Yoga has explained 8 kumbhakas, pranayam, which are as under: Surya Bhedanam Ujjayi, Sitakari Shitali Tatha, Basrika Bhrimari Murcha, Klivini Tyashta Kumbhaka. Surya Bheda Ujjayi, Sitakari Shitali Tata, Basrika Brahmari Murcha, Plavini Tyashta Kumbhaka. The word Kumbhaka is used as pranayam and not as a bandha. All these pranayam are coupled with bandhas during the process. We will try to understand the process of each of them while dealing with the practical application of pranayam. Okay. Then next is Patanjali Sutra. Sage Patanjali has placed pranayam in a very special position. The bridge of body and mind is breath, which needs to be controlled if we want to progress further. Patanjali has focused on 2 different aspects of sadhana. The first is Bahiranga Yoga and second is Antaranga Yoga. These two are very broad concepts wherein body and mind are separated only for understanding purpose. While practicing Bahiranga Yoga, the main instrument is body and impact is also physical, whereas In Antaranga Yoga, the main instrument is mind and impact are also subtler. The border line between body and mind is crossed by the step of pranayam. Though pranayam look like physical while practicing, actually impacts is certainly on mind, which cannot be shown which cannot be shown. The uncontrollable aspect of human existence is mind, which is controlled through semi controllable aspects, which is breath. Patanjali does not provide us with a type or name of pranayam, but only explanation or explains the entire process with absolute clarity. He has explained pranayam only in 5 sutras. The first sutra defines that pranayam tasmin sati shvasa prashvasa yogati vischedah pranayam. In short, it means after observing yam and niyam and gaining the physical stability, that is tasmin sati, changed in the speed of shwas prashwas is called as pranayam. That is inhalation and exhalation is called as pranayam. The word shwas prashwas is used specially to differentiate it from normal breathing. It is definitely different from the normal breathing. Then second sutra explains the process of pranayam, which explains in the 2 lines the entire process of pranayam without using the word purak, rechak or kumbhak. Patanjali calls purak has abhyantar vritti, kumbhak has stambha vritti, and rechak has bahya abhyantar vritti. The desh, that is the area, kal, that is the duration, and sankhya, number, are the measures of its impact. The third sutra says about sahaj pranayam, which can be experienced without any external support or means. The fourth sutra says about the physical impact of pranayam. Tataha shiyate tataha shiyate prakasha varanam. It means pranayam removes the wrap of avidya on dhyana and makes it obtainable. Tata kshiyate prakasha avarana. It means pranayam removes the wrap of avidya on dhyana and makes it obtainable. The fifth sutra is mental effect of pranayam, that is dharanasu cha yogatam manasa, that is dharanasu cha yogata manasa. It means the mind becomes apt for dharana, that is further focusing of mind becomes possible. The study of pranayam according to Patanjali takes one to the doorstep of Antaranga Sadhana, where the body becomes passive and mind becomes active, not for movement but for stability. The concept of pranayam is a bit complex, but if understood properly can give divine experiences. It have dealt with it as one of the steps of Ashtanga Yoga. To understand the concept, the practice aspect of same will be dealt separately.